The extraction pod crashed into the hangar bay with such force that the reinforced steel floor buckled. Medical teams rushed forward as the hatch hissed open, revealing the massive form of Gorath the Unconquerable, curled in a fetal position, rocking back and forth. "Get him to medical," barked General Vox, his scales flickering with disbelief. This was their finest warrior, the beast who had single-handedly conquered the volcanic hellscapes of Pyrox Prime. Now he whimpered like a hatchling. 3 hours later, after extensive sedation, Gorath sat in the debriefing chamber, a thermal blanket wrapped around his 8-foot frame. His 4 arms trembled as he lifted a cup of calming brew to his lips. "Soldier," General Vox began carefully, "you were on Earth's surface for exactly 12 minutes. What happened?" Gorath's eyes, all 6 of them, darted nervously. They knew I was coming." "Impossible. Our stealth technology is." "No, sir. You don't understand." Gorath's voice cracked. "I landed in their Texas region as planned. Middle of nowhere. Desert. Perfect for establishing a foothold. I emerged from my pod, full battle armor, plasma cannons charged, ready to demonstrate the might of the Thraxian Empire." He paused, taking another shaky sip. "And then?" Vox prompted. "An elderly human female was sitting on something called a porch, approximately 30 meters away. She looked at me, this towering warrior in advanced alien armor, and said, 'You better not be here selling something.'" The general's aide stifled what might have been a laugh. "I announced my presence," Gorath continued. "Told her I was claiming this world for the Empire. She took a drink from her beverage and said, 'That's nice, honey. You want some lemonade? You look parched.' You should have eliminated her immediately," Vox stated. Gorath's primary eyes widened in horror. "I tried. I aimed my plasma cannon at her. She didn't even flinch. She said, 'Boy, you better put that thing down before someone gets hurt.' The way she said boy." He shuddered. "I've heard death threats from 100 species. Nothing compared to the implied disappointment in that single word." "So you retreated because of one elderly female?" "No, sir. That's when her neighbor arrived." Gorath pulled the blanket tighter. "A human male named Hank. He was carrying a primitive projectile weapon, a shotgun. But that wasn't the terrifying part." Vox leaned forward. "What was?" He was excited. "Happy to see me." He said, "Hot damn, Martha. You were right about them aliens." Then he asked if I wanted to see his gun collection. The room fell silent. "I'm a warrior," Gorath said quietly. "I've fought in zero gravity, in acid rain, in psychic storms. But this human was showing me weapons from their historical conflicts with genuine enthusiasm. This here's from world—" "But surely, then he showed me something called YouTube." Gorath's voice dropped to a whisper. "Their young ones, their children, voluntarily engage in something called extreme sports. They throw themselves off cliffs with fabric wings. They strap boards to their feet and hurl themselves down frozen mountains. For fun. Their offspring play games where they simulate warfare and genocide for entertainment." General Vox's scales had gone pale. "The elderly female, Martha, she mentioned her grandson was in something called MMA. Mixed martial arts. They've weaponized every part of their body and turned combat into entertainment. They pay to watch each other get beaten unconscious. They call it Tuesday night. But you're stronger." "Am I?" Gorath interrupted. "Hank showed me a video of a human lifting something called a car off another human. Not with technology. Not with enhancement. Just because their offspring was trapped. They have a term for it, hysterical strength. Their bodies keep power in reserve for emergencies." He stood abruptly, pacing. "And then Martha asked if I'd ever heard of Australia. Apparently, It's a continent where everything evolved to kill humans, and humans vacation there. They swim with predators that have multiple rows of teeth. They keep toxin-producing creatures as pets. Their military trains by fighting each other, and their entertainment involves watching other humans get mauled by Earth creatures. Gorath, you've conquered worlds. Worlds that made sense. Gorath shouted. Worlds where predators act like predators. These humans domesticated wolves, and made them sleep in their beds. They took their planet's apex predators and turned them into household companions. What kind of species does that? The room was silent except for Gorath's heavy breathing. In 12 minutes, he said finally, I realized we're not invading a planet. We're invading an asylum where the inmates conquered death so many times it became boring, so they invented new ways to almost die for entertainment. General Vox stood slowly. Your recommendation? Gorath looked him dead in the eyes. Mark Earth as a quarantine zone. Let them have their corner of space. And pray to every deity we know that they never get bored enough to leave it.